Right then, so testing, testing. I'm here to be naked. Testing, testing. Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
I have to check this.
Yes, we are.
I can hear wind. And a lot of it.
Whoosh.
More wind than my butthole. Right. So, it looks like we are live. Let's just move that down there. So, hey guys, Phoenix here, and today we are doing a live breakdown of Theory of Fear. Me and Bob, the two main characters in this, are going to be going through the entire film, telling you some stuff from behind the scenes, giving the director's thoughts and the ideas behind it, basically just to cover the entire storyline and talk about everything that not everyone may have known. So, I think without further ado, we should just jump into this. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Let's go! Well,
Go first,
wrong,
right?
Yeah, wrong thing. Yeah, for Mario. And it's restarted from somewhere in the middle of the film. Right, let's just rewind.
Oh no, my acting's so bad on this one.
That's something you can talk about. Right, so the little starter thing here, I just kind of added it for one, obviously the warning, and two, the best recommendations for what I would say to watch this with.
Watch it at home, naked.
Yes, watch it naked. I always watch my films naked. Now, the opening scene to Theory of Fear, Chapter 1, or 333 is what it was originally known as, is, like, the idea was, I thought I'd have Bob watching the abstract to the second episode, just as like a little tie-on, because at this point I was doing it as a yearly thing, so I thought that would be a fairly interesting little Easter egg to just kick off the first chapter.
Yes. Didn't we film this during the day?
No, this was at night, this bit.
No,
Yeah.
I thought we filmed something like this during the day.
Some, I think some bits where we went onto the attic were in the day. Now, here, obviously, we have the shadow trick. Basically, we just had a big light in the background, and I was stood next to Bob, just being really creepy. Now, the actual intro to this, a lot of people will obviously know it is a very long intro, and it's most of the time just pitch black and very, very quiet. I edited this with a headset on.
With a headset?
Yeah, with the headset on. Like, I can see it on this TV now because it's bright enough, but when I was editing it, I did make it so you had to have the light. Like, I designed this film so you have to watch it in the dark and with, like, either surround sound or a headset on turned up loud for effect so you can actually hear. So in the background here, there is actually scraping and tapping on the wall that you can only hear if you play it in those conditions. Other than that, like, if you're not watching it in the dark room or watching it turned up,
You're just watching me sleep.
not even that, you can probably just see a dark screen with no noise. A lot of people have pointed that out to me. Hence, I did have the recommendations of how to watch this at the start.
Didn't you chuck like a pencil or something there?
Yeah, so there I just
I was like,
I chucked a pencil at the wall. Like, the ideas behind that, for it to be so quiet, is simply for effect. So when a jump scare comes in, it goes from dead quiet to boom, jump scare.
Yes, my acting is crap in this one.
You did get better, I think you did.
Looking at the camera.
A lot of the time you did look at the camera in these first scenes. I probably should have redone it with the amount of times you looked into the camera. Especially here. Just sit there like, hello. It's all a learning curve, though. Obviously, in the second one, we retook quite a few scenes and had a lot of moments we redid. Even that still didn't come out perfect, but better than the first chapter.
Somebody else looked at the camera. Not me.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Don't ask me why I'm cleaning my teeth here.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense why he goes to clean his teeth and then goes for breakfast.
You told me to.
I know. My bad script writing there.
At this point, I almost started to smile.
Yeah, you almost started laughing there.
I don't know why.
So here, it's just sort of like a little bit of an abstract morning routine of what he does. And then jump scare.
Was that a glitch in the video?
Yeah, so basically, when it came to editing the entire first chapter, what happened was I was going through the edits, and after so long, I think it was after like the third week of editing, so for some reason the app just spazzed out and threw out everything. So all the timings were wrong. All the like cuts in between for the audio just suddenly blipped to massive, and then it glitched, and I fixed what I could, but a lot of it was irredeemable. Like that bit, I just could not match it up perfectly again.
And I think you brought up a knife a little bit, didn't you?
No, knife was fine.
What was that speck that flew off?
I think that was just something on the table, like a crumb.
Big fucking crumb.
So obviously we've cut through the day here, and it goes to night. This is an interesting little scene. We took a few attempts to make this, because I was stood on a stool outside the window, and I had to pop up
Hello.
just as Bob Bod stood there. So it was like one of those things where you got to time it, watch back on video. Can you see me pop up? You can only just spot me. But again, if you're not paying close attention and you don't know what's going to happen, then it came out fairly fluent. You checking out the window. Just an outside shot here. I did this for the effect of like the creepy point of view of being watched, but you can't see anything. And then you have another jump scare and another glitch, because again the audio screwed up and everything whilst when the app
and that
went
first
weird.
knife drop was actually a genuine jump.
Oh yeah.
It was a genuine reaction.
I love that spit bubble that you just spat out there. That one we probably could have redone, because like you can tell you were spitting. Like you probably should have just opened your mouth and like just made it a bit more effective.
Oh, shovel his slipper up your bum.
Again, another very dark scene that if you're not watching it in the conditions, you can't really tell what's going on here. Now, the first dream sequence. This is an interesting one, filming it in the middle of a storm.
Yep.
Seems to be a common theme with filming Theory of Fear and storms.
You sure you don't want to go film another one today? It's a storm.
Worked for atmosphere though, I think.
Well, we've been ill for a good 2-3 weeks.
Again, just the editing screwing up, hence all the glitchiness in that. Also, when it came to the audio just being far from fluent in this entire film, that's all down to the editing app again. It just would not let me fade it in and out properly, so it just ended up being like solid cuts, loud, boom, in and out volume. It was awful. The app that I used to use for the sound stuff ended up changing, so you have to pay monthly to actually get it to work. So I was like, yeah, I'm not paying monthly. I was already far into the film at this point, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bother. Now here I've talked about this already. This is a reference. There's a reference to this book in the chapter 2, and this is also a little, just a little interesting thing in the dream state. I'll talk more about that when it comes to chapter 2 later on, with the misspelling of Bob Bod's name. That was genuine. There's multiple ways to clip to write Connor. I'm not intelligent. Again, here there's another reference to chapter 2 going on, slash the first abstract, yeah. Bearing in mind again, all of this is in a dream state, so obviously this isn't supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be everything just happens in random order. It's very, again, abstract, like a dream would be. That bit was quite hard to get up to.
Yes, I run like an idiot because it's impossible to run into. It is hard.
It is, yeah.
Because of all the.
So the thorns, if anything, where they can wrap around your shoe.
Mm.
For consistency as well, it was awful for us. Mainly you, because obviously we had to film in your t-shirt to make it like.
Yeah, it was alright for you. You was in a coat.
Here we've actually come back from the storm. It's the same day.
It's
just at night, and our clothes are still soaking here. You can't tell because of how dark it is. but we had to put our wet clothes back on just to film this short bit here.
Didn't you put it in dry or something?
We put it on the boiler.
To dry a little bit.
Yeah. So our clothes are still soaking there. Yeah. So that bit, I was supposed to spit in Bob Bod's face, but it really didn't work. You can't see a thing. It sounds awful. Like, the idea for that, again, I'd need a proper professional set for that.
And I wasn't going to let him spit in my face.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody would.
Mm.
What did you... It was a glass dish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
no.
took... This took quite a few attempts. At first we had Lydia making us laugh, and then Bob just couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing.
Here's how you come up behind me.
Yeah. Again, another editing thing where we just want smoothly. About halfway through, I think, yeah. So the idea for this entire first chapter was going through day-to-day life of this character that we don't know much about. He's quite lonely because you don't meet anyone else apart from him and the ghosts in this.
Sounds like my real life.
So the idea behind it was I wanted to add in a lot of real-life fears to kind of reflect them into video form. So I have like the fear of the dark, with it being super dark, the idea of just random noises ticking and going off in the background, things, the feeling of being watched, different, like the worry of like how nightmares can affect you, just random stuff like that. You see something around the door, and the next thing you know, nothing's there, and you feel like, are you imagining that? Is it there? So I wanted to just play on real life fears of what people would find scary. Yeah, there's quite funny, because Lydia just stands up and goes like that.
That hurt, laying on there.
Oh yeah. You struggle to open the door there.
It's a stiff door though.
It is, yeah. So here I didn't really add much context into this, but obviously he goes in and finds a note saying to come and find this demon, and he's starting to realise that this demon is actually real in this world, and he feels like he has to get to the bottom of this. Or at least that's what I wanted the character to be like.
I think we could have cut this bit out.
We could have done, yeah.
Where I'll put him a jacket on.
A lot of this we could have shortened down, especially the walking scenes.
And I look like Mr. Bean when I walk out, don't I?
I don't know if I should say this, but this behind shot here, you look like a lesbian.
Wow.
Like you look like a woman in some way. Again, this bit is very dark, and you can only really see the details if you have a bright screen.
God knows what people thought when they drove past.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 people watching.
Very good. I like how we're just allowed to film in a church. Twice being allowed to film in that. One will be me.
One will be a stranger.
Yes.
That's where I get a phone call from college.
Yeah.
Get back to college now. No.
So the idea here is Bob is trying to follow this demon. He just sees the demon wherever he goes, and he's only going into the church simply because he feels like he's being attracted into that. That's what I'm trying to put across here. A lot of people don't understand why you just go to a church. He's been following this demon, or what he can see, the visions of the demon. Where the demon's basically just trying to lure him to where he wants him to go, and
That was so bad you saw me turn the bloody torch off.
so some of the ideas of this bit is based kind of on in chapter 2. This is where Bob's body is actually buried, so the demon's kind of just showing him his near future, trying to prepare him for the afterlife, if that makes sense. Again, there's quite an in-depth story to all this. Like the Ghost Girl, there's an entire separate story to that Ghost Girl, but that's a story for another time if I ever move on to it.
And do you think you will?
Maybe in the future.
What do you think the person who played the Ghost Girl would?
I don't know, probably not. Now here, these two ghosts are kind of common to the church. You only ever see them in the church. Haven't thought of a backstory really for them.
They're just lost souls.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, the sort of like lost souls that have been buried in the church and they haven't bothered leaving the church grounds, so they just haunt the church.
It looks very outlasty.
I've been told this looks very Blair Witch.
And that. First person.
This was actually right at the end of filming in the church. I just quickly ran back in to get this quick shot here.
Oh, we scared the daylights out of everybody, didn't we?
Oh yeah, during filming this, we scared everyone.
What did we?
Like,
we went round the back.
Yeah.
Did we knock on the window?
Yeah. So I think there was 3 or 4 of us inside the church, whilst me and Bob Bod ran outside.
To do a little scene.
And we filmed a little outdoor bit, and we went round and banged on the church window.
Prayed on it though, didn't we?
Everyone just freaked out inside, and then we walked in and started like acting like nothing's happened. I was like, "Did you hear that knocking?" I was like, "No," and we were just playing a little prank on them, especially with it being night, and we just
Lydia
being in
was
the
scared,
graveyard
though,
and a
wasn't she?
church at night is terrifying with the lights off.
Lydia was
Oh yeah.
terrified.
This was fairly good. We had everyone darted around different parts of the church here, just to make sure in the headset, so if you was watching this with a headset on, you can hear the knocks from each different corner. Just a bit of an audio trick there. Here, you can't really see because we didn't turn the camera fast enough, but I was supposed to walk past that lit bit.
You saw it a little bit.
You only just saw me, yeah, which kind of adds to it, but if you blink, you'll miss it.
Achoo. Oh no, I lost it.
And then just me walking around again, and then boom, there's a jump scare. That took us 3 or 4 takes because one, I think the first time you just didn't react. Second time you got pulled back and went, and then went. Yeah, it was quite funny. Again, just a demon going into the real world, chasing him to where he wants him to go. Again, that's just like a creepy little scene, just me walking through the shadows. So this demon can obviously just appear anywhere. So the idea behind the church is there's a secret route down to the forest, which is where the first Theory of Fear abstract was based, and that is also the start of chapter 2, because that is where my character in this actually got killed.
Ha! By the demon.
So the demon's basically showing you kind of like it's hunting ground or feeding ground, I would say.
And the demon in the first one with your sister.
Yeah. Still realistic.
Ooh.
Again, some very dark scenes. You'd have to watch it in specific conditions to see stuff. Like me backing off here.
Still going further into the woods.
I had some fun playing the demon. I don't know what I preferred more, playing the demon or playing my ghost character, which is unnamed. We never named my character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mystery. You can see Marge Simpson on the tree then.
And a dick.
Yep, and a penis. So here, again, you'd have to be very, very close-eyed and bright screen to see this, but I pop up behind and you can see my eyes kind of lighting up behind him. Then he turns around and I've gone.
Did you grab me though?
Yeah. Only thing is, I think it's too dark when I grab you, and like this screen you can see it,
You can just.
but any other screen I've watched this on, you can't see it.
He's like, huggy.
Like the demon's supposed to wear black gloves, and with it being dark as well, you can barely see it. There, we had the little light flickers going past in the trees because we literally hung a torch in the tree. There. So there, you spotted something. I turned around, you saw my face, and then it was supposed to be like a hand just like coming up to the camera. You can barely even tell it's too quick, but just for a little jump scare. You leave out of the gate, which I got trapped in the first abstract. I back off, going into the darkness again, ready to transport myself to wherever I need you to follow.
So you teleport.
And that exit from the forest leads down this road, which is to the back, like, I've called these areas like the abandoned building sort of areas, which we just use my grandma's land for.
So that there, is that the actual quarry or is it a different thing?
You're supposed to be coming out of the quarry
No, I mean
from
that,
those gates.
That gate where we came from.
Oh, that was just the field. Yeah.
That leads to the quarry, doesn't it?
No, completely different direction.
It's
But
just
obviously,
'cause
I edited it to make
it's just
it
'cause
look.
it's got like the same kind of gates.
Yeah, that was the idea. So that's supposed to lead out this way. You keep following a road, which then leads down to these abandoned old buildings.
Abandoned old buildings with modern wheelie bins.
Well, they're still down the road. It's when you get over the fence that I originally organised this area to be.
I twisted my ankle jumping off that fence.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. The things you do for being an actor.
That's why you see me limp a little bit.
Ah.
Like a split second for a few seconds. Because I jumped.
So here is probably where I added in too many walking scenes. In the entire film, I think this is just too much walking and looking around. So the idea here is obviously pitch black around him. He can't see anything. I wanted it to be the fear of, like, you're looking around, you can only see where that torch is pointing. Everywhere else, pitch black. Anything could be anywhere. And then out of the darkness, you see demon, and then jump scare. In the script, there was a lot more to that. There would have been like a scarecrow that he sees, and every time he shines a torch, the scarecrow would get closer and closer. But production value, I don't really have that sort of
That
stuff.
would have been good.
I know, there's so much stuff that would have been so much better if I could have added it.
Did you take that
But-
scarecrow thing from Doctor Who?
It would have looked similar to that, yeah, but obviously it would have moved in the form of like the weeping angels. That was my
No, so when you're not looking.
that was my idea behind it.
So you did take inspiration from Doctor Who?
Yeah, there's been a lot of inspiration put into this. Most of it has gone into chapter 2, but the inspiration for this chapter, I would say, is a little bit from Doctor Who, and majority from kind of like a mix of
Insidious?
Paranormal Activity and Insidious, yeah. Like a mix of the two, as in Paranormal Activity because it's mostly just still shots, and Insidious for the a bit mix of both actually for that, for just the silence and the tension all the way through. Here I use my smoke machine just to add in some little spirit effects. Now this, I would have actually used this room in chapter 2, but because it's now been taken down, I couldn't use it. Because this is supposed to be where all the trapped souls that the demon takes is kept in like this little jail area. So in like the hands coming out of here are supposed to be the souls that the demon has already taken. That Bonbon is getting an image to see here. As you saw then, Sente is one of the souls who is humping the cage. Yep. You poop yourself when you're out. They slowly start getting released. And I kind of look like a ghost walk, just walking past here. I thought it worked fairly well. Now here, this is very close to the ghost house that we have here, which is the same house obviously to the one that is supposedly Bodbod's house in the film, but that we use two parts of the houses because it's a fairly big house to make it look like two separate houses. So we use the front half as your house and the back half as the haunted house, because we've got two stairways, so it all works. So here, just a little ghosty thing where the door shuts on its own. I think I was laid on the floor there and just pushed it closed. Perfect sort of acting here from Lydia. I got her to put her foot, toes first, heel down, to make her walk a bit funny. I thought that looked quite good.
Like it looked like she's decrepit.
Yeah.
Or no, not decrepit, whatever, I don't know.
And again, we go back to just creepy silence here. Just to build tension. For any point, there could be a loud bang or anything that
big
could
loud
be jumpy.
fart.
Yeah.
I need a shit.
It's been a while since I've watched this one.
Mm.
We've been that focused on chapter 2.
Was that
That was a good shot, I thought.
your grandma's room?
Yes. I think I was behind the door then opening it for you.
The ghost girl's room.
Yeah.
Hello.
Again, there's an entire backstory to that ghost girl. I'm not going to tell it just in case I do decide to make it into a separate film, but I probably won't.
You have to tell me when we finish.
The ghost girl is also to do with the haunted dolls. So, the backstory of the dolls also goes with that.
That were very Outlast that.
Yeah, I think Sente pulled that door shut then.
You did a good job on that.
Yeah, the one thing he did a good job at in the entire film. I remember we were trying to film this bit, I think. Oh no, what? No, was it this bit?
Yeah, and he just kept screaming and shouting.
It was either this bit or the last scene.
That bedroom.
We locked him in the bedroom because he just wouldn't stop messing around.
No, I'll tell you what that scene did look like. It looked like Conjuring 2, where Ed's trying to get back in the house and the door slams shut.
Oh yeah.
To try and find the girl.
So here the ghost girl is pointing to you to where you need to go, but she is at this point kind of possessed, so she's in on with the demon, trying to get you to go where it wants you to go. Now, this attic door is left open for now. We've used this shot in both of them actually. For going up the stairs, which it is a good shot. I do like that shot.
Ow.
Here you look up again. You don't really notice it unless you've got a bright screen, but you see the demon's arm come out and sort of like crook the finger to go up the stairs.
Like, come here.
Yeah.
I have pizza.
Because this is where your body will be left.
Oh, I've said that. I fancy pizza now.
No.
Yeah, that t-shirt actually worked really well, didn't it?
Yeah.
The black and the bit of white.
Yeah.
Thank you, WWE. Who knew a WWE t-shirt would work so well?
So here Bob is supposed to be just looking around and he spots the doll that was downstairs at one point.
That buzzing's really annoying. Ow.
There we go. At which point the lights go out and the haunted doll has gone. And then the demon
I
puts
hurt
you
my
into the
ass on
chair.
that one.
Oh yeah, I did have the outtake. I've lost it now, but of me slamming you down, and then you just see you go, ow, and then I go sorry.
It's because we've been wood.
Yeah.
We've been quite thin. It hurt. Plus they've not got much padding down there. Unlike someone.
You're that thick.
Unlike someone maybe like you.
I got a thick ass.
Help.
So here again, it's just the scene from the abstract of the second theory of fear, where the doll is getting closer to the camera, because the second theory of fear kind of shows how the third one will end.
Oh, there's a bit coming up with Lydia, isn't there?
Yep.
That actually tickled.
Yeah. She was sort of like supposed to be feeding off of your soul in your body and like pulling
like she was tickling me.
pulling it out. Again, it would have looked better with special effects, but
Like she was
she's quite gentle with you. I wanted it to kind of be like quite rough, like.
Whoa!
I know it sounds weird, but like properly ragging your body, like trying to get it out. Yeah, she just gives you little tickle.
Why do you think I looked away from the camera like that?
Yeah. So again, here just tension. You can see me behind.
The
guys.
Black,
Yeah. Door shuts on its own. Just mention there. Now the torch is left at the top of the stairs. That's quite important for chapter 2. There you go. Bobo gets tickled. And then the idea of this shot here, where the camera's just going right down out the building again down to the door. This is actually supposed to be Bob Bod's soul leaving his body and going elsewhere in the world. That's why you wake up. Yeah, that's why you wake up in the woods, the demon's feeding ground. Yeah. Little secret storyline things where you only really know if you go through stuff like this in the breakdowns.
And here comes the demon.
So this is me kind of like taking care of your soul in your body and leaving your toll.
Jesus. That made me
Little
jump.
scare. So that's where I would have left the toll for chapter 2 when I did that.
That actually made me jump. You know what? Just watch. You see it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah. So here is just like an ending monologue teasing to do another chapter. At this point, I didn't think I would, but then I did. So as you can see, I left the attic door open at that point. The demon came downstairs, but you didn't see the demon's face. So the attic door was open, and in chapter 2, as you'll see, the demon then takes its original form.
I don't think it was 2 weeks. I think it was a whole year.
Oh yeah, but in this time period, it's about 2 weeks later. Your body has been found in the attic, buried at this point, and your funeral obviously takes place very soon.
So how many days does this film go over?
About 2 or 3, I think.
So it's a course of 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, but obviously we filmed it over 3 months.
Well, no, I know that.
Yeah.
I was talking about that setting.
So here's your soul.
Oh yeah, he says, I won't chuck any leaves at you. That one leaf.
So here, obviously, your soul wakes up in the afterlife.
Is he coming closer each time?
This is just a little abstract, because the idea behind this part was there was supposed to be a scene where an ambulance is shown picking up his body and finding him, like a little police investigation. But again, production, well, we can't get ambulance, we can't get people to be there. Yeah, we don't have all that sort of value. But again, if we did, it would have added to the film, so we just added a little bit there of shots of the demon.
Well, you never know. If you get a lot of money, you might be able to do it one day.
Yeah.
Can they even hear me? Probably not.
Hello.
Hello. That's better.
I don't know how loud that's coming through. If it's coming through really quiet, I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
And I'll join him.
Next door. So here, Bob Bod obviously has just woken up. His soul has climbed out of that little graveyard looking, not graveyard, I think, grave hole, whatever. And he's confused. He's confused of where he is at this point.
It's called a grave.
I know, but there's no gravestone. It's just a hole. So it's a grave hole.
Alright, it's just a hole.
It's a gravy pot.
It's really yellow there.
So here, my soul is just wandering around the forest as I would do, because that's where I got killed. And I've got a new trim at this point, got a new set of clothes. I've been in the afterlife a long time at this point, so I'm starting to get used to being a lost soul. And I went for the the design of my character to be just all black. So there's not much personality into it, and I thought I'd go for the suit just so it's like just that's the one bit of personality you get. Shut up, I know what you're laughing at.
The bloopers.
Now here, long story short, I'm just supposed to be explaining to obviously Bob Bod of what's been going on, why he's woke up where he is, and why he can see me.
And he asks a very casual question.
Have you been followed by a demon?
That's something you hear every Tuesday, innit?
Yeah, just casually. Have you been followed by a demon?
Actually, no, I saw one earlier though.
Now all of these shots here, well, the entirety of chapter 2, every line in this was improvised. Not one thing was like we had a base idea of what we needed to say. Apart from that, we hit the camera gun go and just said, "Oh hello," and just said what we needed to say.
Yeah, apparently demons like to suck assholes.
Yeah, it's supposed. We obviously said suck our souls, but the accent made it say suck assholes.
What's to suck our souls? No, because how I say it is I don't say our, I say our.
Yeah.
What's to suck assholes? You like to do that on the weekend.
Oh yeah. Now here, my hair obviously isn't the best. It's looking a bit shaggy, and that's simply because I have not had any contact or anything to do in the afterlife for so long. So my character has kind of just let himself go. Hence later on, you see me with a fresh trim. The actual reasoning behind that is because I got a haircut, but I tried to write that into the storyline.
And this was one of the days when it was filmed where it wasn't raining.
Yeah, it wasn't actually, but it was windy. The entire start of the film We just got a
Oh, yeah,
lot
it's-
of wind noise. Yeah.
For like what, the first half hour or so.
To say we filmed this on my phone though, we did very well.
Is it meant to be really saturated?
Yeah, yeah. Gives you a creepy,
It looks
faded
different
look.
on there to there.
Yeah. So we've passed the bit where I talk about leaving Bob Bod a book. That's the book that he picked up in his.
The afterlife is pretty much
he
the
picked
same
up in
world.
his dream. where his
Exactly
name
the
was spelled
same.
wrong.
Same nights, same days.
So
Only thing
obviously
is,
I
you're
had
dead.
contact with
no
you
one else can
in
see
your
it.
dream.
You're a ghost. That's why people always make ghost programs trying to say, "Oh, we've seen a ghost."
In
This
words
is
of Billie
what we
Eilish,
see.
where
No,
do you,
that's
when we
not
go
a
to sleep,
ghost.
where do we go?
That's just people
That's
trying to
where you
make
go
up. A
to talk
ghost
to
is
the
something
afterlife.
that's actually invisible to the human eye. We're a completely different dimension.
Makes sense.
So basically, you're trying to say people can't see me, so I'm
In
invisible.
reference to a song
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the Billie Eilish
Right
album.
then, I want you to prove this.
called.
You'll know.
When we go to sleep, where do we go?
Oh. In your bed. You really like Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah.
Billie Eilish.
There was a scene in this that was inspired by one of her music videos, but obviously, again, without production value, we couldn't have done it properly.
Was it the. Could it be the tear thing?
Where I'm on the floor.
You noticed you do that, didn't you, with your eyes?
Yeah, yeah.
Tear.
I wanted to sort of like melt into like a puddle of tar, because like my soul has just gone black and it's melted. So here it's going back to the attic. This is obviously just after the demons left. Is Toll going back in time here, or sort of like a little previously thing, and the demons finally changed forms to be revealed here.
I actually point out spying out the noise.
So your body's been taken, your Toll's been left, and this is, long story short, the demon just transforming into its actual form, leaving the attic. Now here, to get that little sort of like sweaty effect, or make it just look tiny bit realistic,
Drenched in water.
I just drenched the mask in water to give it that fleshy look.
I don't think you've seen that.
It's only because that was the only scene where you'd have close-ups.
Pardon me.
Because that's basically just demonstrating what the demons turned into, or it's taken its original form.
I want to know a few people who played the demon.
Yes. So there was 3 people that played the demon.
And out of all of them, who do you think were the best?
Darren definitely played it the best.
I would say the worst, but I think we all know who that was. No comment on that one.
Now, here, so obviously I've said I'm going to prove to Bob Bod that he is dead, because he doesn't quite believe it yet. So I take him to see his funeral. We have his brother, who is his actual brother Darren, going to have a look at his grave. Now, I know it's an old grave. I would have used a new one. Only
Although
problem
when
with that is, obviously, if I'm going to get the name in it, it has to be Bob Bod's name, and I couldn't just randomly
Just
rewrite the name of a grave.
Just get a sticker. Just
Yeah.
slap it on there.
If I had production value and could have made a custom grave for this scene, then I would have done. But I'm not a professional film company. This is a no-budget film.
Jesus Christ, that would cost you about £1,000 just for a headstone alone. No. Go away.
Noisy neighbours.
We don't want what you're selling today.
So here, not Bob Bod, Darren is just grieving the death of Bob Bod. He's been buried at this point. Obviously, it's 2 weeks later. The funeral has just happened.
I'm Bod, he's Big Bod.
Because they've done the investigation, haven't they? Had no idea to how you got there or how you died. Again, this is all backstory.
You went and touching me leg.
I'm sorry.
I know it's a sexy looking knee. You want you to touch it and caress it.
So here I'm just kind of letting your character just sink in and watch what's happening.
Looks like we've just missed it.
Recognise where you are and who you're seeing.
Well, they would have already gone.
That's why it's quite a
Looks like
long
you just got
pause.
one person that still loves you most.
So can he hear?
No,
What do you mean? I want to talk to him though.
you're a ghost. No one in the human world.
Again,
I
very
don't believe you. I'm gonna go try
just
and find Tom.
improvised scenes here.
We had no idea what we were going to say.
Just kind of went along with it.
Some of it rolled, some of it didn't.
Now, this scene here was actually, what's the word again? Oh, what's the word?
Improvised.
No, the,
Raw.
no. Where you like something else's idea, so you use,
Copy.
not copy, the other word.
Inspiration.
That's it.
Inspired.
I used the, I had inspiration for this scene from Ghost with Patrick Swayze. So the idea here is, again, if I had a good production value, I would have had it so Bob Bod's like waving at Darren, he's not doing anything, he's not paying attention, and you reach forward and actually, like, you go to slap him or whatever, and you just end up going straight through him. And then when he walks off, he walks through you because you're just Ghost. So again, that would have been all like Patrick Swayze style, but obviously I couldn't do that, so I had to settle with you're there but he can't hear you. See you later, big boy. Blooper moment.
It's time that we should be going.
Ooh, it's 10 to 2. Ooh, time.
So here Darren has supposedly walked off, but we actually just cut the scene, so he was the demon at this point.
R.I.P. headphone users.
We would have had a lot more people helping us out with this, but because I don't have many friends, we had to
Just
settle
me.
with whoever would help us. At this point, it was me, Bob Bod, and Darren. So Darren walked off, and we used him where Bob Bod saw the vision of the demon. So the demon isn't actually here, but he's influencing Bob Bod's soul, and basically makes his soul pass out from this vision.
And somehow I passed out with my foot in the air.
Yeah.
I thought it was on the ground, to be honest.
This is where like the force of the
That's just comical.
stuff is
how
going
it-
in.
It just gets me all the time. Does that just?
That's why you've got the background noise. That's kind of like the force going towards him. Star Wars force.
Good luck.
A dizzy shot of you just blacking out.
And it was upside down for a reason.
And here, Bob Bod again wakes up into a little dream state. Even in the afterlife, you can have nightmares and dreams. So this is the only place in the afterlife where the demon's voice can actually be heard, because it can only really talk to us through its mind, really. So this is why Bob Bod can hear it in his dream, because he's being spoken to through like mind waves. Well, that was the idea.
Just casually pull out a bottle of pop.
So at this point, Sentei's playing the demon, and he doesn't have the black gloves on. And the reason behind this is, one, because we lost them, and two, his hands are massive, so he can't really fit them in because they're very small gloves. So we had to just settle with bare hands.
Skin.
Yes. But then again, with it being at the start, we could still say it's almost mid-transformation, where he's still transforming into his original self. So here we're just,
This was probably one of the worst scenes to film.
you're having a casual discussion with the demon, saying that
But I only hear it up here, don't I?
he's going to take your family. And basically the idea of this is he started
He's
to
warning.
use Darren's soul. He started to use Bob Bod's soul to take the form of him, and he's going to go and haunt Darren, which you'll see in a minute, is actually Bob Bod, the demon in Bob Bod's form. Same clothes, but just Bob Bod's actual face. So it's already started doing
At that
that.
point, he tried to grab me there
Yeah.
and make me cough.
Realism. So here we are.
Oh,
So
he smiled.
so straight after the little,
He's smiling.
well, who's not happy to make a bet?
He's like, yay, big time.
But yeah, so after that, he's taken Bob Bod's form, and he's obviously gone to haunt Bob Bod's family, starting with Darren, because Darren at this point is the one with the most grief for your death. The background humming in this is just the sound of like a haunted tension in the atmosphere. It just gives the footage a bit more you can there's something going on. So this here is actually Bob Bod in the demon's clothes.
And for some reason, he left the TV on in the living room
Background noise.
and the lights.
It's fine. It was background noise.
Well, yeah, he could have just been in the living room and gone to make his bed quickly.
Yeah. So again, this is supposed to be really dark. You'd only really see things if you watched it in the dark with your brightness up.
See, that's all you want to do, and it just make people watch it
Yeah.
pitch black. Because you're a bully.
With the sound up.
Where's his chair being really low?
I think it might have been lowered. Everyone seems to lower it. I don't know why. So again, you can see Bob Bod there, and then he just fades away. Basically just haunting Darren, making him a bit scared. Kind of inspiration from It there, where it's sort of like the fear makes the kill a bit more tasteful.
Mm-hmm. Like salting the meat.
Yes.
Like Pennywise said, sweat salts the meat
That's the idea behind that, really.
to add more flavour.
Why you don't get the straight kill. It's just a bit of haunting before anything like that goes down. So Darren dismisses that he's just hearing things and tries to go to bed.
There's a lot of dust.
Yes. Kind of adds for orbs though, a bit more atmosphere. And then I had this lovely little pan shot of Darren rolling over to see the demon in bed with him. Again, this is just playing on a fear. Like, I don't know what. I think it might just be me that's had this fear. But when I was a little kid, I always had like nightmares of rolling over in bed to see a face laid next to me staring at me, and that's what I wanted to play on there.
Yeah, I think that is just you.
Yeah. Same with like the looking out the window, someone looking in the window from the darkness. That's another one that I've had. So Bob Bod's now woken up from his little trance. This has been, I'd say, a couple of days in between you passing out, because this is where I supposedly went to haunt a barber's to get my hair done whilst you was knocked
And that
out.
probably creeped a lot of people out, what I just did.
Oh yeah, where you crack your neck. They were real cracks, by the way. We didn't edit that in.
Oh,
I think I only got one though, didn't I?
You're awake.
2, I think.
One at each side.
Yeah. What the first one was quiet. I think the second one was louder.
Next I forced it more. Oh, this scene was funny, wasn't it?
You was actually laughing there.
We
Probably-
both slipped.
I could have cut that shorter.
We both slipped, didn't we?
Why does my back hurt so much?
Oh, well.
The ground wasn't
You know
even
that
wet
you
though,
kinda
was it?
passed out at your funeral.
I think it's because I was stood on.
An
I've
angle.
had to drag you the rest
I
of
was
the
stood
way
on the root with a tree,
you
so I
there.
slipped off
I'm
that.
just gonna stay at a graveyard.
And then that made me fall back.
Yeah.
So, what
He
actually
wet
happened?
himself laughing, bless him.
A demon started choking me in a dark room.
Almost laughed there.
That sounds bad.
Choking me in a dark room.
Long story short,
Bet you felt kinky, didn't you?
Oh, fucks. How old is this film? Is it a PG?
tell you anything?
Or is it a
A
15?
15.
Basically mentioned that's
Good
going to,
job.
I think you
I only put it as a 15 in case like
haunt my family.
little kids would get scared. I probably could have
He's doing the
got
same
away
to
with
you
it being a
with
12.
12 plus?
Long story short,
Probably
he
even just a
takes your
12. I
soul
mean, like
and uses it
you get
to make
5-year-olds
himself
playing Call of
more
Duty,
near into your face
but
and
you know
therefore
YouTube and
your
stuff.
family
So I
and
just
their
thought I'd put it
grief.
with 15 just to be safe.
That's
Basically to kill them as
YouTube, you're
well.
not allowed
You can't
swearing.
It did that to me, and it
Don't take this channel down, YouTube.
I mean,
we
like,
apologise.
Usually you don't actually have a horror film that's under a 15, do you? That was my thoughts behind it.
unless there's some sort of connection, you can't
Not really.
actually really see them again.
Ambulance.
I heard a
They
Nino
always say
outside.
about the afterlife being, you get to
What's a nani?
reunite with all
A
the
nani.
people.
Was it Nani?
Nani?
A Nino going
The
backwards.
only reason why we can see each other is it.
Now, I call this scene the long story short scene
So
because
the afterlife
the
is-
amount of times I say long story short. Again, it's improv. As we're going through the scenes, I don't realise how much I say it because we're just going through this off the top of our heads. That was the only thing I thought of to start the next sentence every time I was doing
And I think that
an explanation sentence. I thought the best way to start is long story short, and then after I watched it back, I was like, oh, I said that way too many times.
And I did what every actor has done at least once in their life. Forget the lines. Thing is, though, you did that, didn't you, as well?
I've done it, yeah.
Thing is, though, on one of the bloopers, all you hear is, shit, me line.
That was on this one.
That's what, was it this one here?
Yeah, where we was just walking up to that little edge.
Shit, my line. It's because he told me what to say at the beginning of V.C. before we slipped. I had it fresh in my mind then, and then by the time we got to doing it, I forgot it.
Yeah.
I'll have to explain more about it on the way.
That looked quite laggy on there.
We're about halfway through now.
I don't even know.
Wiggle the moose.
Not even halfway through.
How long have we been filming for?
So, this scene here was supposed to be the make or break scene for Chapter 2, whether it's going to be interesting or not. So, it's the first supposed to be like actually spooky scene, or with something that's actually interesting, or
Scary.
it picks up the story a bit. So I thought, if we don't do this right, then no one's going to watch any longer. So far, from the feedback some people have given me, it did pick it up from this point.
You're probably one of the best scenes.
I think the best scene was definitely the one in the abandoned building. That's what I've been given feedback on, so...
That and the fight.
Oh, yeah. I'll reply to Sullivan in a minute.
Come pick us up. Nope.
Oh no, he's asking if we're busy.
And we are. Get back to you in about an hour's time.
So here it's a little bit of backstory for my character. I kind of give the audience a little bit of a nudge that I have been to this building before, and I know it. So there's a backstory behind me in this building, as you will also see in the abstract for the second one. Here's this shot again where we're looking up into the attic. The attic door is left open from the demon leaving it.
Do I recognise this place at this point or not?
Yeah, you recognise it.
Vaguely.
You, because obviously it's quite fresh for you in your mind. You've just woken up into the afterlife, and you know this is where you died. So you look at the stairs, you kind of like, you worry a bit too much, and then you just back out. Because you don't want to go back up there, because you know that's where you died. And then the attic door shuts behind me.
Connor? Connor!
Without my control.
Connor?
So spookiness. Now, a little bit of backstory here. This door was
Kidding me?
not locked at all, but it looks solid the way I'm like trying to push on it. I think what happened there was when I was holding it, I'm pretending to
You're
push
gonna have
on
to
it. I was
find a
actually
key.
pulling it back with my fingers at the same time. Meanwhile, you was on the other side leaning on it like that.
Which you can kind of see.
Yeah. Now here I would have switched between the two of us talking, but
I didn't really see much. Okay.
yeah, I thought I'd just keep it with you
Don't be long.
and do it that way.
This scene, he tells me where to go, and straight away, I mess it up.
Yeah, the first time taking that scene, he walks straight into me. Yeah. I've had a few comments of people saying that when he was looking around for the key, he didn't really look anywhere. Just kind of like walked around and checked a few corners. Yeah. The pacing of it worked, but
So then,
obviously,
okay.
realism, you didn't really look in anything. The reason why the other two rooms are locked is because we used them for scenes in Bob Pod's house, and obviously I tried to play it as two separate buildings. Yeah. So again, you're just worrying because you know that baby, and you know obviously this is where you died, so you're still really nervous to do anything because you don't know the consequences of what could happen.
It's like a butterfly effect, possibly.
Because you've already died once, and you're trying not to make the same mistakes. That's what your character's thinking.
I'm dead. Shh.
Meanwhile,
bet you never turn into that.
Yeah. Retracing the steps of Bob-Bod's final moments. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Bits on the ground.
It was very hard to film this part, so it was very dark.
Worked in pitch black, didn't we?
And I don't know why, but I decided to pick up the torch afterwards. I should have picked it up first.
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah. So here my character's just thinking, that's a creepy looking doll. One of the dolls is actually a vision for us. I'll let you guys decide which one it is. And
Even I can't remember.
I know which one it is.
I think I have a vague idea.
Well, the idea, I'll just say it. The idea was that yours was the vision.
Mine.
Mine's there, because mine's the demon taking form. So I cover up the doll thinking, why is that there?
So the demon took form of the doll.
Yeah, because then obviously I bend down, the doll's covered up, cuts back to you and your vision.
Yeah.
You just take it off you. I probably should have
I
had
take
it where
it
the
off
doll
me?
disappears. You take it off the doll. And then my vision, my actual doll has transformed back into the demon and stood up.
And this was
Massive demon.
This was off the inspiration of the recent Annabelle film, where Annabelle is in the
Annabelle.
what was it, Creations?
Annabelle
second one.
Creation, yeah. So where Annabelle is under the sheets and starts walking towards.
Well, not her, the demon that possessed
Yeah.
the doll.
Starts walking towards the little girl in that. So that was the inspiration from that. I
Connor!
find Connor's
Found what I'm
death
looking
toll.
for.
Turn round and a very good shot. What I thought worked quite well here. I turn round to see the demon
We pissed ourselves laughing.
vanish. I thought that worked quite well.
And all we did there was have my brother stand at the at the left-hand side of the pillar.
Because he was wearing
Just-
complete black, you can't actually see him in the darkness. So
we
it worked.
just went like that.
Worked very well.
Just let go of the sheet and it dropped.
You drop the key. You do some decent faffing around here. You make it look fairly realistic to you can't turn the key.
And the funny thing
Right.
is, I dropped it the second
How are you
time,
going to get me out of
under
here?
my breath.
You actually going to put the key in a what?
Didn't even know you just said that.
Yeah, under my breath went bollocks.
Now here, this you
Connor?
will not ever notice unless you have your brightness on full and you're watching it on a screen that is also high
I
brightness.
swear to God, you need to hurry up.
I'm just sat
Yeah,
there just
so the attic door is actually open and Bob was faffing around the key. If you look down to behind me there, you can just see the demon's legs come down behind me just before the lights go off. You will not notice that unless you were
Ah!
in those conditions.
and that there when you squeeze my name, I think bloody jump. You see it, don't you? See it?
Yeah. I couldn't even see it.
I was in a world of my own just jiggling the key.
I could have cut that bit slightly shorter because obviously I stopped screaming and then it goes quiet for a bit. And then the demon's gone.
But I don't know what's happened, do I?
So the demon knows at this point we're trying to
Kill
what we're trying to do. So obviously it's just trying to give us a fair warning
Got it.
to leave the toll and everything and leave it alone.
Well, at this point, I have no idea what's gone off, do I?
Yeah,
I think you just seen stuff, I'm guessing.
yeah. You didn't see it. You just kind of only just got the door open and saw me
I should
burst out.
probably lean over a bit more so they can hear me.
Oh yes.
What is it?
Bloody hell, that wind.
Basically,
Oh, it's very windy, isn't it?
whenever it leaves a
Well, it's
toll,
another storm,
it
isn't
leaves
it?
a little
Oh, yeah.
clock with the time of death.
Oh yeah, I think it was supposed to be 80 mile an hour winds. I was told.
Yeah.
That
No,
is mine. Yes.
100
Damn.
in
So
some
it says
parts of the
here,
country.
Your time of death was about
That's basically hurricane speed.
3:33.
Maybe not.
Basically, so, isn't it? 100 mile an hour is hurricane speed.
In here,
Or maybe tornado.
your soul.
And this is significant.
How? Pretty much.
So here we just
Gotta
have a
use
little bit of an
this.
explanation scene just so everyone's filled in on the story. The explanation scenes in this are quite boring, I think, but again, for the actual storyline,
It fills
It's-
people in who's a bit
it's-
unsure.
yeah, it's quite important because a lot of people with the first chapter did say they didn't understand the story. So I thought in chapter 2, I'm going to have a lot of explaining in it just so everyone understands. Like, if you watch it closely, you will understand the story, but if you're not too bright-eyed on that sort of stuff, then this supposedly will fill it in for you.
That is strong.
It's not going to be very comfortable, but we might as well lay by this fire.
These will be warm.
We haven't really got anywhere else to go. This is the afterlife. You don't really have any special home to go to.
I just noticed you stood back then. I think you just got a burst of flames.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was either that or it were smoke.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty crappy.
So here, just to film this quick scene, we literally just set a load of newspapers on fire in a bucket.
And at this point, I think it was maybe about 1-2 degrees.
We cannot let.
And it had,
All right.
was it
He
raining?
knows we have this, which he probably
Not
does.
at this point,
That's
no.
why I got attacked in
No, well, that is hello.
He's not going to stop.
So he's trying to go. He wants that back.
It was trying to rain, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was bitter.
Killed our living selves.
He wants
But
to kill our
this,
The
dead.
wind
if
didn't
he
help
takes
either,
it,
did it?
he's finishing the job.
Most of the scenes now, the wind isn't too bad. It was just at the start of the film.
Do about it.
Because this we're getting like what, back end of November.
I think we did very well for that scene though, because obviously again it was all improv and we managed to get it first time, flat out, 2 minutes worth of explanation.
I enjoyed. That's why I could. That's literally how cold it was. I just stood like that for the entire. How long will that scene? 3-4 minutes.
2 minutes.
We.
So here we've gone to sleep. Again, if I would have had an extra scene where you see us go to sleep, but
No, not much point.
not much point. I didn't have a. If I had a better production company, I would have probably done it. But yeah, we go to sleep and I wake up in my nightmare now, which is going back to the first theory of fear, which is the abstract of the story of how I died, and I wake up in the clothes that I wore when I was alive. Hence you see me in the black trench coat and the white Coca-Cola t-shirt.
Because I dare say you were wearing that when you were first filmed.
Yep, so this is more or less the exact same clothes that I wore when I was alive.
But what drew you to go then? The demon again.
So I explain it later. I had an argument with my mum, my character, and I basically,
Relatable.
my character had an argument with her, left and stormed out, had a wander, walked into this forest, got lost, couldn't find the way out, and then there was trapped in the forest, and ended up obviously getting hunted down by the demon, which was a girl at that point. So I was kind of reliving this in that dream from this point. Now I might at some point do a film where I go back and just focus on this story. But again, that would be in the far future. I think I've done too many of this. I need to move on to some other genre for now. But if I ever do and people like it enough, I will go back and do the story to my character when I was alive.
You should do a poll.
Yeah. There's the stopwatch again, because obviously I tried to do the ritual that I'm trying to do for you, but I failed it, hence my soul is trapped in the afterlife.
This looks like you just took a massive fart.
Yep. So my character is supposed to be stressing out, because I think I've just woken up and it's all happening again.
But it was just a dream.
Oh, I'm yawning.
Is it the demon who forces you to have these nightmares then?
Yes. Because obviously it knows what we're trying to do. It knows we're trying to do the ritual, so it kind of tries to put us off and scares us a little bit. Now you can always hear like little ghosty whispers or sounds going on in the background. These are just, again, flashbacks and noises for things that I could hear back then. Here's a clip from that same thing. The hoodie comes into play more when I'm dead. Again, it's all part of a story that I haven't shown.
And it's basically just down to Lee's lot, innit, if they want to see it or not.
Yeah.
Do it.
I mean, like the first film, if I ever went back and did this, would be literally just pretty much based in the forest, and that's it. You'd see the bit where I have the argument, you'd see the bit where I leave, and
But 99% of it will.
most of it will be in there, because I get trapped, get lost, and die there. So,
Tick tock
oh no,
goes the clock. Your death is coming soon.
internet, I hate you.
Tick tock.
So yeah, I started having flashbacks to when the demon was a girl and everything. I can
There's
hear
a
it, noises in my
zombie.
head, making me panic and stuff. chest.
No. That's what you do.
Oh yeah.
That's creepy how you
Only
just see her face.
trickiest part is I would never be able to get my sister to do the demon part again if I ever
Think
went
we
back and did
overslept
the
a bit.
first ever one.
And it's raining.
Because she doesn't want to.
Yep.
Right.
So I'd have to get someone that would look
Oh
similar.
no, I looked at camera.
Yeah. I'd have to get someone that would look similar to replay her part.
Who looks like your sister?
Not a clue.
Stephanie?
Play both roles.
Hello.
What's my name?
How did this not wake us up?
Does you not? So here we've actually filmed the scene that comes after this scene. We've actually filmed this already, and we've just come back from it because we're already soaked through at this point. You can't tell as much, but obviously we've just woken up from just sleeping outside from the rain,
And that table almost gave way.
and we find the den, which is where Bob searched through in the first chapter, but it's been cleared out now because obviously after the 2 weeks people have tried to go through the investigation of how you died and cleared out stuff. Got the blanket over the chair and everything for like
Preserving evidence.
yeah, evidence. But obviously it's all gone down now. You've been buried and it's all in the past.
Because nobody cares about me.
Oh, so,
Like in real life.
is this going to happen to me?
You never know. It's the afterlife. You could have nightmares about how you died. You could have nightmares of the future you never had.
Oh yeah, stream health is back up.
Basically, no matter what, you're going to have
Ow,
to
my
do
ears.
this.
Pretty much.
Ah,
Great.
give me the back.
So,
Nah, give me it back.
You're not allowed it. It's my hat.
Trying to accomplish.
So again, we have another explanation scene, going through the bits and bobs that we need to explain, so then the people that don't understand the bits of storyline that are
Best place to find it.
like weaved in and out,
There, 'cause it'll still be
um,
feeding off the last bits of my soul and
basically can understand it.
over where I used to live.
And how far away is it?
By the time I get there,
I love the amount of dust that came up here. It added for effect.
it's still a trek.
Well, we
Obviously, with
have
it being rainy, it's not going to.
This is actually because the insulation was done in the roof, so it was still all the dust unsettled from that.
We're just going to have to get
Not
this
Insta,
extra stopwatch,
Insta.
which contains
I'm
the actual
broken,
soul.
okay?
It's basically all the souls that
The
demon
minute I
takes.
saw you.
It keeps one special stopwatch, yeah. So within that,
no,
that'll
one
be
of my friends was
hundreds
broken
of
kid.
souls that is taken before.
You got anything to add
So
for
we
this scene?
need that to be able to get your
No.
soul from your clock and do a weird ritual where you're going to put it together. I'll explain all that
What
later.
do you mean?
Yeah. Wind.
Well, that's the
Well, I'll
thing.
go out there and blow you.
I wonder what that
Demons
licking
pocket,
noise then,
so,
but it was my cat.
somehow we've got to try and get it out of there without the demon noticing. I know it does go there to sort of like recharge.
The explanation scenes are fairly
It's
long.
where it kind of rests, so if anything, we
Yeet.
could possibly get it in that state.
When it's asleep.
Yeah.
Scratchy, scratchy,
Not
scratchy.
saying it's going to be easy, but it's the only thing we
Not
can
what
do.
it is. It's the afterlife.
I think we got this in one actually, this scene,
Are
didn't
we
we?
coming to know that now?
Either that or in two.
Suppose we
Yeah.
shouldn't really waste.
I don't remember retaking this scene.
So go.
It's this one that we retook where we was walking off
Was it
because
Darren?
Darren zoomed in on our asses and yep, we wanted it to be a still shot like this. Now this has supposedly been reviewed as the best scene here.
What was that?
No,
It's my blood.
this entire 10 minutes worth.
Yeah. Chucked it down all day.
Yep, another classic Theory of Fear thing, we always film in storms. So these are supposed to be first person shots here of our characters having a look around for an entrance.
Luckily, I didn't get ill this time. And you had to choose the most difficult one to get to. And the most flooded.
Best house though. So this is supposed to be my character's house in real life. So when I was alive, this is supposedly where me and my family lived before I died and everything
Fucking
got left
staring at
and
us.
abandoned.
Just stared at us like for 2 solid minutes.
Good for her.
Just be careful, it's a bit wet.
So as you can see, it's been a long time since I've been dead, so
My house.
everything's been left abandoned and wrecked.
Kids even came and graffitied your house.
Now the idea for why we had to go here is because the demon mainly comes here to feed off the last bits of my soul, because it's still feeding off me whilst it's trying to take Bob-Bods. So we thought if anywhere where we're going to find it, it will be here, hence we took the characters to this location.
And this is where we used to live,
And it moved your house to shreds.
more or less. He took my entire family, and it's just been left to rot ever since.
Ooh.
I have a message.
Slow on again.
No, it's Reddit.
Wow.
Now, if we just wait here for a bit,
I'll put my own
possibly
Yeah.
this is where I'm hoping.
Stop
the
playing
demon
with your
will
knobs.
be, 'cause If anything, it'll still be finishing feeding off of my soul.
For
which
context,
will be-
he's playing. He's playing with a doorknob.
This is all that's left of me. So,
Again, just more explanation, kind of just explaining what I just said.
and hope for the best.
He turns up.
Yeah.
It's funny because
Then hope for the
I'm
best.
talking about what we're talking about, but I can't actually hear it.
Alive, I'd say.
Are we deaf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine being actually alive.
Oh yeah, we're already dead.
So time's passed at this point. We just sat down having a talk about, again, how I died and stuff that went on.
I think the thing that really
He's
kicked
explaining
off
what's
for me
happening to
was
the house.
an argument with my
Explaining, obviously, again, about it being a girl that was the demon when I was it, and my mum, and me having an argument why I stormed off. Again, just some backstory for my character.
Sounds relatable to your character in real life.
It does.
Well, you in real life, not your character in real life.
Still have no way out. I kept on hearing noises behind
Unless we
me.
do play characters in real life.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who knows?
Except with me, it was.
It's just one whole, one big episode. You live your life as a character inside a simulation.
It was a girl at this point.
Thanks for that.
What?
You can tell how that creeped out.
What?
Hearing girls' voices in the forest.
So here we had that bang for a little bit of a jump scare. We didn't go for many jump scares in the second chapter, but a little bit of a jump scare there. It's managed to make a few people jump when I've shown them it. That was actually Darren just banging his hand onto the wall, and he really hurt his wrist doing that.
Do you remember when you came out of that room? Ha ha.
Yeah.
Into a corner.
So the demon has now appeared in the building, and when it's trying to feed off of the soul, it kind of goes dormant, as in like a standing sleeping trance. Hence we are able to creep around unnoticed as long as we are quiet. That was the idea, to build tension, so we had to be quiet, but obviously any noise could still alert the demon and take it out of its dormant state. So this scene was designed to be a tension building scene. That wind is so loud, Jesus. Getting somewhat close to the end now. What?
Fulfilled
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
Over 1 hour. Right now, an hour, wasn't it?
An hour and 40, including both chapters.
So without both chapters.
Second one was an hour and 10, first one was half an hour.
So an hour and 10 minutes is film.
Yeah.
How far are we in?
An hour and 14. Got about 25 minutes left of it.
How can you sit for hours?
Because I have a squishy butt. So again, just tension going on here. Little movements just to make it look a bit more, ooh, Has it woke up? Ooh, what could happen?
Scary.
Really good setting. I did like this abandoned house. It delivered it. Like, I don't think it would have been as good if we filmed it anywhere else. Just the setting and the background can make so much of a difference. First person shot of me walking off.
We just falling downstairs.
Now I've purposely set up the lighting so it just looks a bit more creepy and eerie. So on the floor, you can see where my shadow is on the wall. I've literally got a light stick just propped up on the floor down there. Meanwhile, to give the camera a bit more movement, Bob is now holding the camera rather than using the tripod all the time.
I know, it was on the tripod, right?
Oh yeah, but you was holding it rather than holding it still. It just adds a bit more in-depthness to the shots rather than just a single still shot, which is still good for some things, but
I'm surprised I didn't fall downstairs.
adds to it. Yeah.
You know, it's a massive jump cut, right?
So obviously that is what I used to wake up the demon to build up the tension some more. This shot worked out perfectly because as the demon started walking towards, you just see it go out of sight whilst the music picks up, and it just, I love the tension and how that works in that clip there. Now the reason why we didn't just go straight out the window here, a lot of people may be thinking, oh, you haven't been spotted, why don't you just run out the window? Because that's the way out. The reason why I decided to do it like this is, one, again, to build more tension, and two, by the time we would have got out that window quiet enough, we would have been spotted and had the demon chasing us the entire way back. So I thought, we're going to have to lose it in the house before we leave, and it just helps, again, extend the tension scene and not just cut it off like that.
How did he know we were going to be in there?
Just trying to hear us out. Because it doesn't exactly know we're there, it just thinks it heard something.
Here's Johnny!
A little bit of comedy there. You telling us to be quiet and me like, yeah, of course.
He's like, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Is it Johnny?
That was inspired by that bit. Like The Shining.
Is it Shining?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have had an accent. Hello!
So it was sort of inspired, because obviously it's not, we haven't been found, it's just looking through it.
And how many teams here? Oh, it's real.
You can tell that he slowed down to stand on it though.
You told me to.
Yeah, but like you're supposed to do it, obviously, like you're looking around and you accidentally stand on it.
Oh yeah, this one we made a Kleenex advert for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Blow your demons away.
Because the demon has a good old sniff out for us.
Kleenex, blow your demons away.
I think the storm, filming this in the storm, did add to it though.
I think we had a Mackey's after this, didn't we?
No, we didn't actually. We was gonna, but we went straight back to my grandma's and had a load of pizzas after this shot.
I guess we celebrated with pizza.
Yes.
And then got drenched again by going back out. And I was very happy about it. And entering in and out of that room, we got dripped on a lot of times.
Oh yeah, and we had to go in and out of that window so many times as well. And just going outside and back in, just
Drenched
it
us.
drenched us like that. Horrible time to film, but obviously it came out as one of the best scenes.
Because it was raining non-stop all day. Now this here does look like a very low budget scene.
Yeah,
With
definitely.
one, how bright it was.
Compared to the
two,
rest of the film, yeah.
How echoey it was.
Basically, now we've got these.
It does look so bad here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think this will probably be worst scene.
But then again, we filmed this within a couple of minutes. Ryan was down, and I was getting rushed to get kicked out by my mum. So, yeah.
That's what he does, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So again, this is just a little explanation scene that we rushed into.
So after you've got this open,
Which he messed up, by the way.
Put this in,
Yeah.
put it in, close it. This will release all these souls
The bloopers.
and put your soul with them. And then you need to say your time and date.
And he tried fixing the power,
This
even though it's
should
pure
then
daylight.
intertwine all
For the night.
souls and release yours.
Even though-
Hence, in the later shot, you just have a lamp because we couldn't get the lights working.
Even though you weren't even working on the lights, you were just working on a wall.
Oh no, I was actually
You'll be trusted,
working on the light switch.
like me.
That's what was behind there.
Oh, there's another light switch.
Take me as an example.
Why is there two
I
light
failed
switches?
this.
Well, a plug socket.
So it's not the light switch then.
You know what I mean.
So don't do not. So now that we've got these, everything from here on out should be pretty simple.
Now, this montage that's coming up here
It's very cringy.
is, well, it's supposed to be cringy, but it's basically just there to add a bit of a false sense of security,
As it goes.
and
Oh, let's hope I don't hear the
It's-
song.
it just makes it a bit more.
Easy having yourself a good time.
Oh, the entire film is the one thing that you can hear from speakers.
They don't fall out. Fucking kiss you both at the same time.
Oh no, it's echoing.
Smells like something I've forgotten. Curled up tight and now
So a lot of
it's
these
rotten.
scenes here were not
I'm not a gangster tonight. Don't wanna be a bad guy. I'm just a loner, baby. And now you got in my way.
It's like you've
I can't decide whether you should live or die, or you'll probably go to heaven. Please don't hang your head and cry. No wonder why my heart feels dead inside. It's cold and hard and petrified. Lock the doors and close the blinds. We're going for a ride. It's a bitch convincing people to like you. If I stop now, call me a quitter. Lies were cats, you'd be a litter. Pleasing everyone isn't like you. Dancing jigs until I'm crippled. Slut and drinks, I won't get pickled. I've got to hand it to you. You play by all the same rules. It takes the truth to fool me. And now you made me angry. I can't decide whether you should live or die, or you'll probably go to heaven. Please don't hang your head and cry. No wonder why my heart feels dead inside. It's cold and hard and petrified. Lock the doors and close the blinds. We're going for a ride. Oh, I could throw you in the lake, or feed you poison birthday cake. I won't deny I'm gonna miss you when you're gone.
So I thought it's something.
Oh, I could bury you alive, but you might crawl out with a knife and kill me when I'm sleeping. That's why I can't decide whether you should live or die, or you'll probably go to heaven. Please don't hang your head and cry. No wonder why my heart feels dead inside. It's cold and hard and petrified. Lock the doors and close the blinds. We're going for a ride.
Again, if I had a higher budget, I would have more interesting things going on, like floating things.
Boris Johnson gets naked.
So after a long night of having fun, we go back to have a rest, but then obviously the false sense of security is now gone, the dark music has returned, and stuff begins to go wrong. So here, all the souls that are contained in the main watch are basically awakening. Of course, obviously, it's not in the possession of the demon anymore. They're trying to be set free. You get attracted to it, because obviously you see it moving around. You hear. I would have had whispering going there, so you can hear like screams and whispers coming from it. was supposed to do. Which again, I would have had, if I had a higher budget, I would have edited in like solvents or gases like letting all the essence from all different souls just escape. So all the other ghosts and demons in the afterlife can now smell and sense that, and they want a bit of life from it. So all of these afterlife segments are based or inspired by the further from Insidious. That was the idea behind it. The film these shots.
No, no, no! What are you doing? What do you mean it moved? You do not realise what you've just done. By opening this, all the other souls in this world can sense this. They're not going to stop until they've got this now.
Say that.
You almost fell on the floor.
We're going to have to make a move, and you're going to have to do this ritual tonight. We cannot afford to let this get caught again.
The interesting
this.
stuff.
Come on, we're going to have to go.
Do you mind?
No, I'll babysit.
I will punch you in the face.
No, what do you want to do?
So here we now know that we have to move because everything is going to be coming for us. Again, we were supposed to have a lot of people here, but I don't have many friends, so we couldn't have as many people here because there were supposed to be ghosts chasing us from all different directions, multiple ghosts following us along the way. So we had to just settle with, for now, a single demon. Again, going through the darkness, you can't see what's around us. We finally find a bit of light. I think I spot a ghost.
Oh no.
So here is quite funny because we're supposed to be really quiet. Bob
Be
Bob
really
stands
quiet.
on he stands on a big plank of wood and makes a loud bang.
It was hard to see them.
Yeah. Again, we could have done with better lighting here, but we only had my phone light to go off annoyingly.
Be quiet. Bang!
Again, so many things could have been so much better if we had a proper production to this.
Should we message with Rock, see if he'll help us? And the midget black dude.
He has a name.
Forgot his name.
Kevin
Oh,
Hart.
That's it. Kevin. Oh, just Lydia's dad.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart.
Why do we need a midget?
Makes it funnier.
It's a horror film.
Then, you what with the smallest person in the
So,
film?
this is one of the ghosts that are coming for the souls. There would have been, again, stuff going on behind this, but we didn't have much time or much things to work with, so we had the simpleness of a wave and then it disappearing just for a bit of atmosphere. But that presence is still there, so we can't actually go back that way after the past. So she's kind of guarding us and blocking us in from going out that way. Hence, when we saw the demon out the other side, we couldn't go back the other way. I didn't mention that in the film, so I probably could have made that a bit more clear. Again, if we had that scene filmed fully properly, then it would have made a bit more sense.
Ooh. She'll have her guards there, basically.
Pretty much. And again, we would have had so many more ghosts behind us blocking the other direction.
Blocking all directions.
Yeah. So the only way out was supposed to be where the demon is.
Or like an invisible wall on Minecraft.
Yes.
Or other insert video game name here.
I will shoot you.
Do it. I've got a song stuck in my head now.
Ah.
I just got rid of it.
So yeah, here obviously we are realising there's only one way out, but there is two of us, so I've already lost my chance to live. Bob Bod has still got his chance to live. You never see us hand over the pocket watch and everything, but this is where we would have done it during one of the scene cuts. We probably should have added that in, but we didn't. So I hand him the stuff that he needs for the ritual, just remind him what he needs to do in a very brief way, and basically sacrifice myself. I don't die, because obviously I'm already dead, but I've lost my soul, and my soul is kind of extinguished and burnt out. So this is where I would have had actually no, I'll explain that bit in a minute when it actually comes to it, so it makes a bit more sense rather than foretelling it.
He'll kill you.
Get off my chair.
You run. Okay. As soon as no one's looking, you go.
Hooky, hooky.
Sad music.
I'm trying to put it in. No. Bye. That noise sounds like from Outlaws too.
Yeah. So obviously I know I haven't got a chance with this axe, but I thought I might as well, my character had a thought that obviously I'm going to have to try and delay it as much as possible, so I'll have to put up some sort of fight.
At this pace, I don't think it'll bother them. Can't tell you.
Yeah. So here we would have had like slow machine and everything, whilst all the soul escapes me. The wind I'm just using So we just settled with spitting out some blood. More rain.
Sleet.
Very uncomfortable laying on that floor. I hurt my knees.
It was sleet.
So you choose this moment to make your run for it whilst the demon's checking my body for the stopwatch, which obviously you now have. I don't have it anymore.
We can find it. Completely on day one.
Completely separate day, played off as the exact same moment. Good, still. We cut out a lot of things that we filmed there just because it wouldn't fit in the tune. We had to minimise it to whatever we could. Cut out a lot of walking scenes just to get to the church. This way where the body was buried, so it's there's those two one of the ghosts trip you up. Again, we've tried to play. We only have 2 people to play ghosts here. We've tried to play on I love this shot. I love how it's flashed black.
Thingy.
I had multiple endings that I could have chosen. Shut up, I can't speak. So the demon fades away. Bob Body's left laying on the floor. Question mark, did he survive?
Probably not.
The idea behind it is he didn't actually finish off saying the time, date, and no.
The date and time.
Just the date and time of death. He just said the date. So he failed the ritual, and technically his character died there. Now, this little teaser at the end, Darren is actually looking for Connor because he keeps on having hauntings, which is like obviously when me and Connor was messing about in the montage, the bit where he saw the demon as Connor, he's starting to think. Well, he's paranoid, so he is looking around, thinking that you're still alive. Yeah, and the teaser is. Yeah, the teaser is, if I ever wanted to do another episode, it's kind of based on Darren's insanity. I'm trying to find you.
That would be a good one.
I mean, like, he managed to trace it back to where you started in the afterlife.
But how?
Exactly. Yeah. And then Billie Eilish to sing us out. And I picked this song to sing us out because it's called 6 Feet Under and it kind of matches the theme of death.
It was a good
Don't
Yeah.
come back.
Now there was an alternate ending to that, so I did have again multiple endings. So if Bob could have got the ritual right, and he would have survived. So if he did end up doing that, the alternate ending was got back to his body, returned back to where Darren lives, and tried to surprise him. I'm alive. I'm back. This has happened. I'm survived. And everyone's surprised that he actually made it back. But he goes to see Darren to find that Darren's been haunted pretty much to death, and he goes into the building to see Darren has committed suicide in the bathroom. I thought that was a bit too sensitive to add in, so I thought we'll stick with the alternate one and not go for that because it's a bit too dark. And it's not, it's touching on some subjects, so I thought I'm going to keep that out. If I was ever going to go for a really dark showing that's less for a less sensitive audience, then that could have been used, but for something for YouTube, no, I can't use that, so I thought, I'm not going to keep that. So that was the theory of fear. If you guys have any more questions, please do let me know in the comments, and I will do I'm going to do a documentary talking about it anyway. Thoughts and reviews from everyone that's seen it, and do it all professionally rather than live stream. So if any of you have any questions that you want us and the cast to answer in that documentary, please let me know in the comments. But apart from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Have a notification with John Seeks Space again, and I will see you all in the next one. Phoenix Salute out.